I, Ronald Reagan, the uncommon voice for the common man, your favorite conservative curmudgeon, coming to you today live from Shadyside, Ohio, where I just returned home from work because I'm one of the 83% of the people in this country that has a job. But I walk in and I turn on the news and guess who I see? It's Mike Huckabee. That's right. Mike Huckabee has said something about that big Hollywood star, Natalie Portman, having a child out of wedlock. Now, I want to comment about that. But first off, I want to tell you people something. I heard about 5 or 6 months ago these left-wing idiots talking about who it is that they would least like to see run against his mightiness Obama in 2 years. And guess whose name was at the top of the list? That would be Mike Huckabee, because they figured that this guy had the charm and the personality to reach across the aisle and grab some of these people that voted for Obama 2 years ago. And they are exactly right, because Mike Huckabee says things that make sense. And he is the one person that can do exactly what they're afraid of and reach across the aisle and grab those former Obama voters. We saw in the November midterms how the independents led Obama like rats from a sinking ship. And believe me, these people are going to do it again in 2 years, and Huckabee might just be there to gather them up, especially when he makes incredibly sane statements like this. He actually had the mitigated goal to say, quote, one of the things that is troubling is that people see a Natalie Portman or some other Hollywood starlet who boast of, hey, look, we're having children. We're not married, but we're having these children, and they're doing just fine. And he also went on to say that, quote, most single moms are very poor, uneducated, can't get a job. It's unfortunate that we glorify and glamorize the idea of out-of-children wedlock, but there aren't really a lot of single moms out there who are making millions of dollars every year for being in a movie. But, Mike Huckabee, that makes sense, but you missed this. Most single moms are very poor, uneducated, and can't get a job. But, Mike Huckabee, there's a difference between can't get a job and won't get a job. You also went on to say this to ABC News, and this is what just absolutely just drives me into euphoria, because you have the mitigated goal to say it. Huckabee said to ABC News, when he tried to clarify his previous statement, that he was trying to say that it is government programs that keep the children of most single moms from starving. That is exactly right. And that is exactly the kind of thing that the American people need to hear, because it is true. I remember when I lived in Martins Ferry, Ohio about 10 years ago, I was working as a newspaper reporter part-time and delivering pizzas part-time. And I had to live in a damn public housing project. And I saw all these hopeless, oppressed beneficiaries of Obama's, better known as hobos, sitting out front, drinking coffee, drinking beer, doing absolutely nothing all day long. And they looked at me one time and said, why don't you just quit your job, get on welfare like the rest of us? Well, by God, I was made of stronger stuff, and I achieved more in my life than what they did. They're probably still sitting up there right now, drinking beer, drinking coffee, and reloading off the taxpayer. But I went down to a friend's house. Now, these people did not have jobs. There was a single mother, well, not a single mother. They weren't married, but they lived together. But at any rate, I walked into their house, and this woman looked at me and she goes, oh, guess what, John? I'm going to have another baby. And I go, well, that's great. More children. They already had like about 4 of them. And I go, well, that's great. You're having another child. And she looked at me and she goes, that's right. Because once I have this baby, the government will give me an additional $240 a month. And in a roundabout way, that's what Huckabee's point is. And that's why these left-wing wackos fear him. Because he's dead on right. And I don't want to hear any of these left-wing lunatics, the same left-wing lunatics that would tell you and I that Al Jazeera is real news. Anybody that would make that stupid ass comment doesn't have the right to comment with any degree of intelligence about anything. And that's probably why they are afraid of Huckabee, because he makes sense. I am tired of my money going to support all these damn deadbeats. It's just that simple. I can't stand it. I know this girl at work whose husband doesn't have a job, and she's pregnant, and she has to go to work because her damn worthless deadbeat husband won't go out and get a job. Now, obviously they got the medical card because God knows they don't have any insurance, and now there's all sorts of problems with their pregnancy. And guess what? I got to pick up the tab for this. I have to pay for their bad behavior, and it's absolutely ridiculous, and it drives me up a wall. And I know for a fact that when Obama gave us our big $880 billion stimulus project, that a lot of that money went to the states. Why? So they could expand the entitlement programs. It's easier to get on welfare. It's easier to stay on welfare. They bumped up all the medical cards and the food cards, and all these people do is sit around all damn day and drink Bush beer and watch the Flintstones on their state-of-the-art cable that I'm paying for. And Mike Huckabee, don't you dare back down and apologize to these left-wing idiots because of your statement, because people like me understand that you are dead on right. Good job, Mr. Governor. Until next time, this is your favorite conservative curmudgeon, Ronald Reagan, saying this to you now. When good news like